Collections, collections, collections. Are they holding you back from achieving the credit score that you need to qualify? Are collections keeping you from getting approved for the funding that you need? Most likely, yes. So in my last video, I talked about how to just pay for collections. This video, we're going to be breaking down what to do if you truly disagree, it's not yours, whatever the case may be, but you did not authorize this account, you did not approve of this account, you have never done business, and you think that it might be some form of mixed identity theft, or whatever, but you know one thing for sure, it does not belong to you. So what do you do? Here is what this guide is going to break down for you. We're going to give you all of the laws from the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the most common violations, and how to even get with a debt consumer lawyer to help you fix and sue these reporting agencies or the debt collection agency. You can also go through arbitration yourself, but you'll have to pay the filing fees, which I believe are around $225. You can always ask them, which is whoever you're going up against, to pay those arbitration fees plus the $1,000 violation, or if you have multiple violations, each violation is $1,000 plus damages. And you just want to show as much proof as you possibly can. Now, what you want to do is obviously dispute this account directly with the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. You can have ChatGPT write a simple letter, but just focus on this one collection account. You also want to dispute it with the collection agency who is reporting that to the credit bureau. Now, here is the thing. If this is a third-party debt collection company, they have to follow the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And a lot of companies will make violations. They'll call you before hours or after hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They'll text you. They'll not include their debt collection license number. There's a ton of violations that these companies have been making and why they get sued. But you can go ahead and write them a notice saying that you disagree, or it's fraud, or whatever your case may be, right? And you can let them know, hey, I know the law, this is the law, right? Definitely want to go through the guide and get all of the violations that this company has done. You can file a CFPB complaint against the collection agency. You can take action with the credit bureaus. And again, whenever you're sending letters into the credit bureaus, always include your ID, your social security card, and some form proof of residence dated within the last 45 days. What's most important here is getting it done, having proof that you sent it, collecting all of the responses from the credit bureau, because you want to build up a case. You can also submit it to the CFPB, and then you can gather everything that you have done along with the proof and send it on over to a consumer attorney where you can let them know, hey, these are the violations, or they can help you. But it's easier when you kind of know a little bit and you're like, hey, these are the violations that this company made, right? And these are the damages that they caused. And here's a copy of my credit report, because I'm going to tell you one thing right now. They will violate the law. You just have to know where to look, how to look for it, and you can definitely collect on those violations and the damages, okay? This is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and these are some of the most common things that they do with harassment and abuse. You want to record all of your phone calls with debt collection companies. If you have an extra phone, just record it so you have proof. Again, we're building a case here. You know, communication, they cannot call you before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. In each state might vary a little bit as well, but in the state of California, if the debt collection company is calling you, they have to, or texting you, they have to support supply their debt collection license number. And again, they must follow the laws. They cannot text you before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. If you tell them that you're working and it's inconvenient and they keep calling and calling, that is a violation. FDCPA only applies to the third-party collection. It does not apply to the original creditor. As we know, collections can still be reported from the original creditor, like Capital One or even Chase. Any bank out there can still report a debt as a collection. But since they are the original creditor, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act doesn't apply to them. So when you are trying to go after a collection, you want it to try to be a third-party collection. Now, if Capital One hired an attorney, a debt collection attorney, to collect on it, that's a third-party debt collection services. So, that would be considered third-party. They would absolutely have to follow the law there. But you want to make sure that you're just aware of some of these things, because say, for example, you dispute the account with the collection company. Well, they have to update it on your credit report and mark it as disputed. If they don't within a 30-day period, that is a violation. If they harass you, that is a violation. So all of these different violations are $1,000 penalty plus damages that they have caused. And if you build your case, boy, the checks will come. There's no reason why they should be sued so much, but it happens. Now, these are the top violations from debt collectors. And again, you want to try to collect as much proof as possible by recording the phone calls, taking text message screenshots in your phone to record the time if they're, texting before hours or after hours. These are all things that you got to pass on to your lawyer, which is not going to cost you any money out of pocket. You're simply going to upload a copy of your most recent credit reports to them, let them assess it. You can provide them with as much detail as possible and the violations that you have found on your own, and then see if they can take your case on. Each debt consumer attorney is a little bit different, but there's a ton of them out there. And in this ebook, I have at least 3 to 4 different consumer attorneys that you can potentially reach out to and see if they have a case for you. But this is going to give you all of the different potential violations. You can go through and see if any of these apply to you and continue to fight. Now, with there being, fraud involved, if you believe that this may have been from, mixed identity or whatever, it happens a lot with people who share addresses, to be honest with you, family members who share addresses. So that could easily happen, but you will need to file an FTC report. You will most likely also need to complete an identity theft affidavit. There are, many of them out there, but in this guide, I have the link that is the most standard one. Go through, fill it out, put the collection account information on there. Whatever is on your credit report, you copy and put it on there. Because if you don't know anything else, that's all the information that you know. And then you would get that notarized. Send it to the collection agency, let them know you believe this account is fraudulent and you have submitted a report to the FTC, supplied them with a copy. You've also done this identity theft affidavit. And is there anything else that they would need in order to cease collections on this fraudulent account? And then you can back up with the credit bureaus and do the same thing. Let them know that this is a fraudulent account. Here's an FTC report. Here's my affidavit. Here's my ID, my social security card, and my, proof of residency. Make sure to send that every single time. All right. Now, when you become a paying customer with the credit bureaus, you are going to get customer service. There are agents there that want to help you, especially as a customer. So call into customer service, have them transfer you to the fraud department, verify you're in the fraud department, ask to speak with the manager and then let them know you have uploaded these documents, you've sent them in, you want to make sure that this is removed because by law, people that are a victim of identity theft, they are to remove, they being the credit bureaus, are to remove these accounts within 3 business days. 3 business days. That's not just you saying, hey, take it off. You are giving them the law. That's what the law says. Okay. Now, if they choose to, negate that, then that's negligence. Okay. If they choose to not honor that, that is something you want to keep as proof because that can show their willingness to non-comply. All right. And that's a violation. Okay. Non-compliance. So you want to ensure that you are building and you have the proof of everything and you're organized. All right. Keep everything inside of a Google Drive. Keep copies of everything. Never send the original to the credit bureau, but most importantly, get it done, son. Get it done because you don't want to pay people to do this for you. You could totally do it. Use AI, watch all of the videos inside of the Credit Repair Secrets playlist, get the guide. There's a ton of sample, dispute letters and ideas that you can use to kind of, get your situation going like, I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, I can just pop this right into AI and make it seem like it's from a real consumer and not AI. Handwrite a cover letter if you can, and get through to these credit bureaus because once they find out that this is identity theft, they will block it from your credit report. So each month that the collection companies report, it's being blocked from your credit report. Now, things like this are getting harder and harder to do, but if you are a true victim of identity theft, you may also have to file an online crime report with your local police department or sheriff's office. If the credit bureaus are still giving you a hard time, you might just need to file a report with them and let them know that the credit bureaus requested that you get a police report due to this identity theft or, unknown accounts reported on your credit report. And that wraps up our collection series. And it's a pretty easy, straightforward process, guys. Either you're going to pay it or you're going to fight it. If they can't prove it, they got to remove it. You just got to keep on challenging these folks. Keep on it. Keep on it. It might not happen with 1 letter, 2 letters, 3 letters, or 4, but you're going to have to just keep on chipping away at that old ice block until you get the results that you desire. And you can do this yourself. You don't need anyone else to do it. If you need software, use ChatGPT AI for free, or you can also use Credit Repair Cloud to kind of keep you more organized. But if you're just working on your file alone, ChatGPT for free is the way to go, and you just have to kind of connect all the dots behind it. But until next time, my friends, I will see you on the next video.